After 35 years, you must be having a lot to say,
what
right?
What do you want to talk about? We're in the minority here, but let's
Don't
make it
forget
majority.
Bradford. Don't forget Bradford.
Okay. Good evening, distinguished guests. Good evening. We've had your presence 3 times this week. I'm very humble. I live in your neck of the woods now, but I'm from his neck of the woods. So you hear a bit of London and Yorkshire accent. So I've been here now 5 days after 32 years. Jumpstart is pivotal for me to get here. I think if you didn't say anything, I don't know if it's 32 years, it would have been a few more years. So I'm from Midpur, a tiny little village. My parents are from there. And grandparents died. Families move all over the world. There was no incentive for me to come. But there's plenty of incentive for me now. And 1995, I worked in China, building hotels and working in hotels. And at that time, it kind of came into my mind that why is this country, Pakistan, geographically located next to India and China, who make a huge chunk of tourism money, revenue, and we're not part of that. So I think the idea came then. Life goes on. Have your children, you work all over the world. I've worked in 5 different countries and visited almost 40, but they're always in my mind, tourism, tourism, tourism. And I always said, I hope Imran Khan doesn't mind me saying this, I used to think, that man will be the Prime Minister, but he has to marry a local single mother. That might be something to do with that I'm a single mother, but I think it's very safer when you take on a single mother. It took him 3 marriages, 20 years, and he made it, so woo, Imran. The other thing I said was tourism. That's the 2 things I said. Imran will be the PM, marries a local single girl, which he did, with a mother, I think she has 5 children, and tourism. And I feel it in my waters. And I know there's certain things in life that I've said, this is the vision. And Bradford, Amjad, I'll tell you this. I told my dad 10 years before the halal meat went into the supermarkets, and I was studying my master's and I had this vision. I said, Dad, the Asian community, the Muslims, are going to go into the supermarkets to buy their halal meat. And he had a halal meat section. He goes, no, 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 all the regulations, no, no, no. And I said, sure, 10 years later, 20 years later, everybody's buying it from the Western supermarkets. So the visions are those, the belief is that, and that's the belief I'm working with. And I know, and I feel it, and I feel it, and I feel it even more being here, it's Pakistan's time. So with Brexit, somebody mentioned it today, and with what's going on with Mexico and immigration scaremongering going on in the West, I think I'm sick to death of hearing the Westerns talking about immigration. Sorry, Westerners, I'm a Westerner too. So I'm thinking, why not do something about this? And if the West really doesn't want immigration, they've got to help the other countries to build their countries and create their own dreams. Now, the American dream, the Western dream, is great, but it's not for everyone. Recently, if you've all been following the news, you saw what happened with Taiwanese. 30 people got into got into these containers in immigration. They think there's going to be a better life, a dream, somewhere better. Who stays? My view is create your own dreams. So I came up with something called the Pakistani Dream 2028. I strongly believe by 2028 we will be the #1 tourist destination of the world in a developing country.
Inshallah. Sure.
And that is where my energies are going. I have to mention my kids. I have 2 girls and I've never ever left them alone. And I've left them for the first time for 5 days. And that is a big thing for me. So I had to tell my girl who was crying, holding my leg, I've got to do this for Pakistan. So that's a massive thing for me. I will be here, traveling to other areas. And the 3-tier, I'm just going to tell you how I'm doing it. It's a 3-tier system. Tier #1 is there's 220 million people in Pakistan. Domestic tourism revenue is massive. Some countries just survive on the revenue. Start paying attention to that. I think, Mr. Sagari, I think that if I get the figures wrong, I think it's 1.2 million people are visiting. A huge chunk of that is domestic. Where is the international tourism? Whereas, so tier #1, get the locals moving up and down the country. There's a massive revenue source. Tier #2 is the 10 million ambassadors overseas. Some of us are sitting here. Start selling Pakistan to them because they need to know that there's not just to come to the village cities to build the houses and leave. There's skiing, there's so much. As somebody was talking about branding, branding is key. But I think the word Pakistan is a brand in itself. And I was writing this yesterday, the tourism, the people who were here, tourism. So impressive. But I'm sitting there going, okay, how much work do I have to do? And there's people concerned and working on the wildlife. There's people working on environment, plastics and the water and all this. This is already going on. And I think 95% we're there. And I say to people, we're not coming here to tell you what to do and how to do it. We're just going to accelerate things for you and tweak it. So for tourism, it's amenities, facilities, and I think that's really what it is. And tier number 2 is so important for the overseas Pakistanis. If we get this right and start visiting this country and spreading the word, I think the rest of the 7.7 billion will start coming. So the only thing, last thing I'd like to leave, and I think this is why I really came as well, I think there's some fantastic, actually no, not some, huge amount of fantastic work going on, but there's not one single vision going on. So for me, I'm thinking 2028, if we can all get behind the vision, the 220 million here, the 10 million on one vision, if I can say that to the right honourable guest, if you can take that to the ministry, all of you, is there's a single vision, as the Japanese have done and the Malaysians have done. Get that single vision, get people behind you, and I'll thank you, the water and the energy, as who said, is the energy. Marco, where are you? Marcus, so you're talking about the energy, how the energy, get people's energy behind that single, there's lots of things going on, but one single vision is needed. That's what my belief is. And if you get behind that, it doesn't have to be the tourism vision, I'll work on that tirelessly. But I think that if there can be collective vision of one thing, we're going there at this time, and that's how it is, I think that's what we need. So I congratulate the Pakistanis, the host, the Pakistanis, seriously, you're amazing people. The hospitality, and I've lived in countries, and I've been in places, and I'm not saying this, but I'm English also, guys. I may be wrong, but I'm actually English. So I'm Pakistani as well, through parents. The hospitality in this country is unbelievable. This is something you've got to do something very proud of. I congratulate you. I love you guys. Thank you for taking care of me. And the team Jumpstart, I think you are superhumans, and I'm so grateful, really, every one of you, and you've actually kept dragging little on me and saying, meet this person, meet this person. I'm very humbled. I will put all my energies, because I believe in it, and I congratulate you. Overseas Pakistanis, help my vision.
Bravo, welcome.
No, before we invite the chief guest, Zulfi Bukhari, can I request Khurram to come down here? Khurram is the chief, as you all know, the chief executive of LIFT Pakistan, and perhaps Khurram could sum up our 7 days activities that happened here and the reactions, and, happiness, disappointments, all whatever you have. Khurram, come and share your thoughts with the people.
Thank you, Chiku. I think I'm not going to be taking much of your time. I'm just going to be talking about the lesson. I wrote about a year ago this couple of paragraphs, and I'm just going to read that. And I think that will sum it up, what we've been through. So vision basically